Hello everyone, I'm forecaster Jackson here to discuss the severe weather setup for the afternoon and evening of Monday, May 14th, 2018 across parts of the Mid-Atlantic. As we can see on GOES East visible satellite imagery, we have an area of showers and thunderstorms currently ongoing in parts of Ohio. These showers and storms will be moving to the east-southeast throughout the rest of the day today and into the early part of tonight. And as they make that journey across the Appalachians into parts of the Mid-Atlantic, they will be producing damaging winds. The primary threat with these storms could see some large hail. Can't rule out a tornado, but at the moment it's really the damaging wind threat to watch out for as these storms move off to the east-southeast. Looking a little bit more closely, we can see an area of clear skies here south and east of Columbus, through parts of West Virginia and into western parts of Virginia. If we click the map, we can zoom in a little bit closer to the Washington, D.C. area, and we can see low clouds struggling to erode here as daytime heating gets going. And what this is doing, this is holding temperatures down a little bit to the south and east of the Blue Ridge Parkway here. You can see that terrain feature marking the western edge of that stratus deck that extends all the way into parts of the Delmarva and into parts of southeastern Pennsylvania and southern New Jersey. If we look at our observed temperatures this afternoon, you can see, again, these very warm temperatures here in the 80s in those areas of clear skies. A little bit cooler to the north of a frontal boundary located in this area, and then much cooler here in the Washington, D.C. area. Again, we can click the map to kind of pan over here. Much cooler in the 60s under those low clouds. So the overall severe weather threat, especially for eastern parts of this area, looking at the Delmarva here, will depend on how many of those low clouds we can get to mix out. You can see some of these breaks of sunshine starting to develop across parts of Maryland here. The more sunshine that develops, the warmer the atmosphere can get in the lower levels. That will strengthen the vertical temperature gradient that we need to fuel thunderstorms, and thus that will increase the risk for severe thunderstorms. Moving on over to our ECMWF's thunderstorm composite map, we can see plenty of instability here, especially again to the west of the DC area where those sunny skies are located. Lower instability again towards the Delmarva where those low clouds continue to hang on. But overall, plenty of instability, especially as thunderstorms develop here in parts of Ohio. Again, this is 5 o'clock in the evening. We see that same setup. Lower instability to the east, higher instability to the west. Now, if we click the map to zoom in, we can get a little bit closer of a look at our wind profiles here. So, weak surface winds not playing a big part in today's setup. The features to watch are in the mid and upper levels. Really the mid-levels mostly. You can see some westerly upper-level winds. That's fairly typical. But these northwesterly mid-level winds are what to watch out for here because those winds are oriented parallel to our frontal boundary, which is kind of draped from southeast to northwest here. And that orientation, combined with the linear storm structure that we already see with these thunderstorms ongoing in Ohio, and we can click the map back to our GOES East view here. We can select the HD button up here for a look at the radar, and then again click the map to kind of pan around here until we get the view that we want. Here we go. So we already have lines of storms here oriented in kind of linear structures. We have wind out of the northwest that is parallel to our boundary. So this is going to be a line of storms, a squall line, if you will. And that squall line, again, is going to favor that damaging wind threat. And you can see some of these vectors in the green, so those are mid-level 500 millibar winds, fairly strong here out of the northwest. So plenty of winds aloft to tap into as these storms get going. Here's another look at the 500 millibar winds, again, showing those strong winds, especially a little bit to the north and west of the DC area this afternoon and tonight. That will help to fuel this line of thunderstorms that will eventually become a little bit more self-sustaining as it moves towards the DC area. It won't need these upper-level winds because it'll be developing its own circulations. And we can see that here with our simulated radar map from weathermodels.com. Again, don't take this literally as a literal forecast for, thunderstorm over X town or Y county at a certain time, but rather a general idea of the overall setup. So a few showers and thunderstorms could develop earlier in the afternoon here across parts of Virginia where you get that frontal boundary. Again, plenty of instability. This isn't the main severe threat, but again, watch for heavy rain, lightning, maybe a couple of gusty winds. Wind gusts here with some of these storms. Farther to the northwest, this is the main feature we're going to be watching, again, as it starts to organize into this linear storm structure. Pretty classic squall line forecast to evolve here, moving into the DC area as we approach the evening commute. This is not, going to be a ridiculously high-end event. You may recall the derecho event back in 2012. That is not what we're expecting here. But you will get a swath of damaging winds from parts of Ohio through northern West Virginia into southwestern parts of Pennsylvania, southern parts of Pennsylvania. And then that risk of damaging winds kind of right along the leading edge of these storms will extend into northern Virginia and Maryland. As we head later into the evening, storms will begin to weaken as they encounter that more stable air mass. Again, we talked about that earlier, those low clouds, the fog, the stratus over parts of the Delmarva, again, reducing the vertical temperature gradient that storms need to thrive. And so that will cut down on the severe risk. Although, again, gusty winds, the risk for gusty winds continues all the way to the coastline here, just diminishing a little bit in scope and scale. And then thunderstorms will eventually fall apart as they near the Virginia Beach area later into tonight. So that's a little bit of an overview of what to expect from the severe storms today. You can track it all with our HD radar imagery, GOES satellite imagery, our lightning analysis. You can press this little strike button here and get the latest lightning analysis. Press this refresh button to get the latest data. And then if you click the map here, we can zoom in to an even closer level here, and then we can click any one of these strike icons for even more detailed information. So stay ahead of the storms with the tools we have here at weather.us, and I will have some more updates later on this evening via Twitter. So you can follow me there at Jack Sillen or at weather.us. That's it for me for now. Thanks for watching.